All right, everyone. Just doing a quick drive right here in Berkeley. FSD 12.5.4, Model Y Hardware 3. So last time I drove to the same spot and making left turn, I ran into that curb right there. So it did it properly this time without running the curb. So a little bit slow, bunch of traffic here, a postal truck or van parked, double parked. So moving around it very nicely. Still waiting for FSD 12.5.6 to go wider than it has been. As far as I know, no Hardware 3 vehicle has gotten it. So I have a bicyclist in front of me. She does have a bike lane. Let's see how the car handles it. Auto set speed off. And we'll make a right turn here at a four-way stop. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. All right. So the says autopilot aborted takeover immediately. I think, if I remember correctly, we were in direct sunlight, just about 50 feet back. So obviously FSD is no good if we cannot handle direct sunlight. I'll have to look at that again because the sun is not directly in. I did review the video footage from earlier. It looked like the sun was relatively bright at the time, and we immediately went into a shadow. So that may have triggered the request to take over and aborting FSD. I'm not sure. Okay. Gonna let FSD do its thing. FSD's routing is, in my opinion, not optimal. I wouldn't have taken this route, and this person is okay. So yeah, I've gotten a couple of instances of pedestrians approaching crosswalks and obviously are going to cross, and FSD goes into the intersection and then stops to let the pedestrian cross. I would have just stopped at that stop sign until the pedestrian has crossed before proceeding. So I don't like that behavior with FSD. Because first of all, the pedestrian and it starts off pretty quickly, right? So the pedestrian doesn't think that you're going to stop, and stopping in the middle of the intersection is not good because you're blocking cross traffic if there was traffic. So again, I don't think FSD handles that situation optimally. So at the 1010 Robotaxi event or the We Robot event, Elon unveiled the Robovan, which is definitely not traditional looking and more so than the Cybertruck. So if you thought the Cybertruck was out there, the the Robovan is definitely more out there. So but it's an interesting concept. It can be used as a people hauler. It can be configured as an RV. So definitely very configurable, depending on what the customer wants. A little bit of hesitation there. We stopped at the same time. I think the law is that the car on the left has the right of way if we arrive at the same time. But I've also heard that the car on the right has the right of way. So I need to research that to see what is the actual recommendation from DMV. So this is a pretty tough left turn after the stop. Oh, whoa. So yeah. So luckily there were no cars. FSD did not creep, and I have to intervene here. Flashing light, pedestrian crossing. FSD was not going to stop, was just heading forward, was heading straight. But yeah, just immediately before that stop sign, there was definitely a huge blind spot there. And manually driven, I would have crept up and made sure that there were no traffic coming on both ways. But you can see FSD did not do that. Made the NHTSA stop and just sort of went out. So if there were cars coming in either direction, FSD would have needed to slam on the brakes or gun it, one or the other. But that was not good. So tight squeeze here. Car stopped. No room for us to go around, so that's the proper thing to do. Yeah, so two issues there. That stop sign making left, not looking to see if there's cars coming, and not understanding the flashing light in the pedestrian crosswalk. And obviously there were two pedestrians there ready to cross, and in fact in the process of crossing and stepping out of the sidewalk. So FSD did not attempt to stop or make any preparations to stop, so I had to intervene. So right turn here. I would have liked the car to pull closer to the curb, so it's sort of in the middle of the road. This is I've seen this with this version. I said 12.5.4 earlier. Well, I'm actually on 12.5.4.1. So the latest wide version. So, ooh, whoa, quite, ooh. Well, okay, so that was a little bit scary. So we have a roundabout here with proper yield signs. Let's see how FSD handles this. So we have pedestrian crossing. It's fine. So we need to make a left. So, okay. So cars are stopped here. So this is good. We've got our left signal on, which is proper. We've got a bunch of traffic. I guess if I was driving manual, I would have yielded to the car on the right. So last time I went to this roundabout, it took this roundabout kind of wide, and it actually went into the white lines. But this time it did it perfectly. So steering wheel, okay. So it attempted to go around these cars, and you can see there's really no way around these cars. So I stopped. I intervened. So re-engaged. And you can see I'm on the chill setting. So even chill, it tried to go around. It should have, FSD saw that there was a line of cars. So I'm not sure why it attempted to go around this black BMW. So let me edit trip and go to the next route, next destination. So again, 12.5.4.1 Model Y hardware 3 is still not Robotaxi ready, unfortunately. So if I was driving manually, I know I keep saying that, I would have stayed at that stop sign until the traffic started to move. Guess that's more of a personal preference type thing, because that was a T intersection. So I wasn't really blocking anyone per se. It just doesn't feel right to be stopped right in the middle of the road. And this is the same situation here. But there was no stop sign there, and these cars are slowly moving, so that's okay. So we need to make a left turn here at a three-way stop at a T intersection, so I don't see anything unusual that FSD can't handle. Okay. Okay, so I haven't done anything yet. I haven't nudged the pedal. That oncoming car did not have the right of way. So I had the right of way, but you can see FSD was hesitating, so much so that they decided to overtake. The reason they couldn't overtake was because it so happens that there was a pedestrian on that scooter that was crossing. But if that scooter wasn't there, that car definitely would have just overtaken because FSD was slow. So there was no reason for FSD to be slow because that scooter was not in the line of our route. So there should have been no hesitation there. So we have a very busy intersection here. We have the sun not directly in the camera, but pretty brightly above. So cars are stuck in the intersection, pedestrians are crossing. Let's see if we're going to go out in the middle of the intersection this time. Okay, so FSD needs to go before. Okay, I didn't do anything and it started moving, so that's great. So more people coming at this crosswalk, which is proper. So you can see the folks to the right started to stop to let the cars go, but then others went ahead. So I'm going to nudge a little bit to see if it'll move. Yeah. Because pedestrians are doing the right thing, right? So they sort of go in bunches, and after a bunch of people cross, they sort of stop to let the cars go. But obviously FSD doesn't know that, right? So I wouldn't fault FSD for that. So back to our starting point. This time we're going straight and not making a left turn. Again, we have a bunch of pedestrians, so we should be good to go now. Yep. So let's go. Relatively direct sun camera into the FSD camera. No FSD abort this time, so that's good. I think the last time when it aborted was because we had direct sun. Oh, actually it's giving me, yeah, you can see the screen is red, but the attention monitoring is still green. Okay, it's gone. So as I was saying, last time it aborted, it was because we had a similar direct sun, and then immediately a tall building blocked the sun, and we went immediately into shadow. So it was like extreme brightness to extreme shadow. Okay, so this car has decided to, okay. So I'm not going to do anything, I'll see what it does. So this Ford is, okay, so he's going to take the space. Don't go, FSD, don't go. So FSD is slowly creeping. You can't see it on camera because it's less than 1 mile. Okay, so this car took this spot very, very well. Wow, good skills. So no intervention there necessary. Okay. Yep. All right. So yeah, so it put on the hazards by itself. It disengaged, I think because of the sun. So it looks like the theme of this ride is going to be the sun blinding the camera. So I'm currently manually driving because I know if I engage FSD now, it'll just go right into the crosswalk or the zebra stripes. So let's prove that. Okay, I'm wrong. So I engaged FSD now. Okay, let me close the window so we don't hear that music, so I don't have any copyright infringements. Okay, so it started to go and pedestrian crossed. Okay, good. Yeah, so we had two sun disengagements, aborting from an FSD. I would say 2.5 because there was one just maybe 20 seconds before that second aborted FSD. We can see the screen was flashing red, even though my attention monitoring was green. So a bunch of people around, a bunch of traffic. Okay, now we were getting that sun again, so let's see what happens. So you can see the sun is not directly straight ahead. It's actually at the 11 o'clock position. Okay. Right, so it did that again, and after that sun, immediately we went into that shadow, and that, similar to the first instance, the transition, I mean the split second transition between blinding sun and shadow, FSD aborted. So I'm manually driving now.